Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bow and Arrow Tarot and this pick a card reading where we're going to be taking a look into their true feelings and intentions, what's really going on with them, and what they want you to know. So take a look at the piles in front of you, pick the one that stands out to you, and check the description for your timestamps below. Let's get started with pile number one. Pile one, let's jump right into it. Who is this person? The poet. How do they see you as a unicorn? Magical. What are their true feelings? Unspoken. So much they want to say. And what does Spirit have to say about it? It's time to pay attention. Wow. These are your cards for this pile. So let's pull out the rest of your reading. King of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Six of Wands, the Chariot, and Ace of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have a Hanged Man energy. So this is a beautiful reading right away, but there is definitely some healing involved in this connection with this individual. Right away, we see Three of Swords there. We see also Hanged Man energy. So there is some things in the past, perhaps some heartache that was there. But let's talk about who this person is, the poet. This is somebody who is extremely romantic, very, very sensitive. They resonate with this archetype because this is someone who is able to sort of see the art in all things, the art in life, right? This is someone also who's going to be very good with their communication, right? Their written language. They may actually even be a writer of some kind, or someone who maybe even an artist, a singer, songwriter, someone who is able to put art into words and to convey feeling with this. So somebody like that is oftentimes extremely sensitive as well. Now, how do they see you? Unicorn energy. Yeah, this is beautiful. This animal spirit is associated with the sixth chakra, right between the brows, just above on the forehead where your sixth sense is at. And the unicorn resonates with a belief in the other, a belief in magic, right? A desire to live a magical life. It also is representative of faith, right? Because in order to have magic and magical things in your life, you have to have faith. You have to believe in it. So anything that is, not in front of your eyes proven, but that you want to include in your life or have included in your life, you have to have a certain amount of faith. And that goes as well for religion even, right? So let's move ahead. How do they truly feel? Unspoken. Wow, there is so much this person wants to say to you, right? They want you to know how deeply they feel about you, right? But they are right now working up the courage to kind of put it into words. And it's interesting that this would be a poet, because in all other ways, this individual does very, very well with expressing themselves. But oftentimes, people who are poets or may resonate with that energy as an artist and can create that kind of art, when it comes to them and their own sort of deep personal feelings, sometimes it can be very difficult. Now, we're going to move ahead and see what happened here. But right now, there is so much I want to say to you. It says, I find it difficult to put my feelings into words. All right, poet. Just know that you are very important to me, and the depth of my love for you is beyond anything. There's so much unspoken between us, which I will soon reveal to you. So there's some timing here as well that's letting you know your person is absolutely thinking about you. Now let's get into this energy. King of Pentacles, Three of Swords. So there is a feeling here that there was some kind of heartache that went on, right? There was some kind of heartache or pain or a feeling of betrayal that was involved in this connection. And it may be for this very reason that your person does have a lot to say to you. They do feel very, very strongly about it. King of Pentacles energy is there as well. That's a feeling that your individual is somebody who does very well for themselves, right? They may indeed have a career as I said, a writer or a poet or an artist of some kind, but they are very, very successful. Right now, before we move on, I want to take a little bit more of a look at that Three of Swords because there's also a victory here and a whole new chapter in love. So let's take a look at a little bit more of that Three of Swords energy and see how it fits in with the rest. Magician is there and a Queen of Wands. Wow. So listen, there are other people that were involved here. This individual, dare I say it, this individual may be married or they may be in another committed relationship, right? And somewhere along the line, this has impacted your connection with them. And this may be one of the reasons why they have so much unspoken that they want to say to you. There is a connection here between the two of you, that poet and unicorn energy. On a very deep level, you both have a sense of the magical, the romantic, the artistic, right? The otherworldly. So there is a level where the two of you connect very deeply. And for them also, seeing you as a unicorn is almost as if they came across you and you may have presented an example of a type of person they never thought that they would meet, you know. Oftentimes, you know, we say that phrase, you know, meeting your unicorn. It's so unique, so rare, almost a myth, right? People say it's a myth that unicorns exist. So in any case, this is a real shock to this poet system. And there may have indeed been a time where this person may not have been readily able to act on their emotions or their feelings because there is this Queen of Wands there. Magician and Queen of Wands. Now, that magician energy seems to indicate, you know, there may have been a time when this person really perhaps presented themselves to be capable of having it all. You know, this individual is definitely, they definitely have a sense of themselves. I feel like there's a little bit of ego there, and it's rightly so. They're very capable, very talented. Again, they're highly successful. You know, they resonate with that king energy, but they may indeed have come across as being able to have it all, give it all, and then at crunch time, it really didn't happen. And this is where I think there's that Three of Swords. So there's some history there between the two of you. So let's move on to the Chariot and the Six of Wands. There does feel like there is a victory here and a whole new chapter. So the energy here is that they're kind of, you know, coming around to it, right? They're coming around to acting on their feelings for you and really starting a whole new chapter in their life. This feels to me like a connection you have with someone who, the first time around, because they have other things in their life, they definitely have a Queen of Wands, right? Someone on their level that they are connected to that is watching them, paying attention, right? So they were busy, right? They were already busy or connected, right? But this connection the two of you have is very, very magical, you know, very deep. And there does feel like there was a bit of a betrayal here. Like you were probably had your feelings hurt very much because of the scenario. But this feels like they are turning that around and coming back, right? They're turning that around for another sort of chance or opportunity. Queen of Swords, interesting. Five of Wands, there's your competition. And Three of Pentacles, and there's your work. Now, I feel like this is you resonating. So, you resonating with that Queen of Swords and that Five of Wands is there. There is a feeling of sort of, there's a bit of a competitive feeling here. A bit of, you know, you're not going to have both, right? You're not going to have two lives, two lovers, two, you know, you're going to have to choose. But you are your authentic self. Queen of Swords is extremely authentic and very honest, and she requires absolute honesty, like pure honesty. You can't get away with, like, you know, half truths, etc. And so I think that this is the energy that you are going to be requiring from your poet, right? To make up for any of this initial heartache that happened. You stand firm in your desire for what you want. Also, Queen of Swords is all about boundaries and boundaries and limits and rules. Like, don't, respecting boundaries. And there, you may indeed need to be doing that with this individual when they come in to reveal all that is so unspoken. Three of Pentacles is there over that Chariot and that Ace of Cups. What I love about this is that it's working towards love. It's that working towards love energy. Three of Pentacles is like willing to put the time and the effort, realizing that it takes time to build love. It takes time to build a life and a relationship, right? And so it does feel as though this Ace of Cups energy, this love that you kind of have between the two of you, will finally have space to spring and for you both to be able to work at it. Spirit says pay attention, right? So now is the time for you to really pay attention to what people do. Listen to what people say, listen to what your poet is saying, but also pay attention to what they do, because oftentimes you can find the true desire, the true intention of someone in how they act rather than what they're saying. So we're clear here that you have a poet that wants to reveal so many things and have another chance to say all the things that they probably should have said ahead before the first time around, before this heartache happened. Hangman energy is at the bottom of the deck. This is all about being willing to adjust your outlook, right? Not being stuck, not being frozen in an outlook, in a perception of life or a way of life that begins to hinder you or begins to hold you back. Hangman energy is all about that balance, either remaining true and devoted to sort of an outlook that may be different from everyone else, but that through that devotion and that commitment, you achieve a certain amount of understanding and transformation, and can be that balance of breaking away from a mold, breaking away from an outdated, constricted way of looking at life when it no longer suits you. So this is some of the energy working beneath the scenes. Now let's go ahead and pull out your spirits of darkness and light. Spirit of the Fae, Spirit of the Dwelling Place, and Masculine Spirit. I love that. Spirit of the Fae, mischief, play, fantasy. Take that as it comes to you. Spirit of the Dwelling Place, coming home, laying a foundation, right? This could be the beginning. That has a lot of energy connected to that Three of Pentacles there, that work, putting in the effort and the work. Masculine spirit, action, power, and dominance, right? So acting on things. Again, Spirit says pay attention, right? Pay attention to what people do, not just what they say. Let's go ahead and pull out the zodiac. We're going to see what kind of zodiac signs you might be dealing with in this connection. If you resonate with this reading, if you can claim this reading, go ahead and leave us a comment in the comment section for the collective and share your story. Cancer energy is there. Water. Virgo energy is there. What else do we have? Scorpio energy. So 2 water and an earth. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This is the end of pile number 1. As I say, I hope you got something out of it, some clarity. If you want to share your story and experience in the comments, please do so. If you'd like to hit the like button and let me know that you are enjoying these readings, please do so. I love that so much. Thank you for that. And if you want to stick around for pile number 2, let's get started right now. Pile 2, let's get right into it. Who is this person? The warrior. How do they see you? As wolf spirit. Their true feelings are love. They want physical intimacy with you, a deep, connected physical love. What does spirit have to say? Destiny. There's destiny at play here, divine connections and timing. So let's get the rest of your cards out. The Fool, taking a leap of faith. 6 of Wands, a victory. 2 of Wands, more fire. 8 of Wands, more fire. and Empress energy, divine feminine. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Cups. So the wish fulfillment card. Nine of Cups is beautiful energy. At the end of the day, it is about a wish come true, all your desires coming true. Warrior, wolf, love, and destiny. So this is a heavy connection, right? Right out of the gate, we're talking about someone who's very, very strong, fights for what they believe in. This is the type of person who's very courageous, who is willing to make the difficult decisions, willing to put themselves on the line for what they believe in, and they see you as wolf energy. Together, the warrior and the wolf are a beautiful combination. The wolf is strong feminine energy. She is the leader, the rebel. She's the one who takes care of the marginalized. She's, very much a solitary figure, right? The rebellious one, the anarchist, and also the leader, right? Wolf, the leader of the pack, but often the pack of individuals that everyone else is sort of left behind. As I said, marginalized, thought of perhaps as other. So part of this wolf energy that your warrior sees in you is the spirit of taking care of others and walking your own unique path. Very strong, very powerful, right? Very clever. So there is an energy connection here between the two of you that I am not surprised is very, very passionate. Now, when we look at what are their real, true intentions and feelings, wow, I want to make love to you, right? In ways that have never been done before. There's a deep physical intimacy that I desire, wanting to be close to you. This really speaks of a very physical, passionate connection here. And I'm not really surprised because this kind of energy the two of you have is very fiery, passionate, sort of animal spirit and archetype anyway. We have a lot of wands here. So there's already a lot of fire. So let's get right into it. The Fool and Six of Wands. So the Fool is all about taking a leap of faith, having an adventure, trying something brand new, doing something that, you're following your heart. You're following your heart. There is an opportunity here to experience something totally different, and you're willing to go for it. Fool is beautiful energy here. It's the beginning of the journey, right? That's the first step. And the Fool oftentimes talks about, the first step in this chapter, having learned everything you've learned up until now, that is all still there. So it's a feeling of being young and fresh and new again and trying something new, and at the same time having learned so much and really being comfortable in your own skin. Six of Wands is a victory here, a real feeling of like having won. Something about this connection feels like a winning moment. It could very well just be that vibe of the two of you having found each other. As I said, Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment. It's happiness on every level. Now let's move on to the Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands. There is a lot of action here, a lot of forward momentum. Two of Wands is Mars and Aries. So here we have more fire in a fire sign. So the two of you, there's a feeling of both of you wanting to take on the world. There's that warrior spirit and that wolf spirit. So you both really feed off of each other. You support each other, and I think you inspire each other as well. Eight of Wands is there. Mercury and Sagittarius. A lot is happening. So right now in this connection, a lot is going on. A lot of energy between the two of you, a lot of communication. Now, before we move on to this final energy of the Empress and Destiny, let's go ahead and talk a little bit deeper about this Fool, Six of Wands, Two of Wands. It does indicate that this may be a very fresh relationship or connection. Seven of Cups, Magician energy, Queen of Wands, Six of Wands again, more victory, and the King of Pentacles. Wow. So there is a feeling here that this is very much like all your dreams come true type of energy, right? Seven of Cups with that Magician, that's a feeling of all your wishes being available to you, right? Like all the possibilities, everything you ever wanted. Sometimes this energy can be a little bit overwhelming, and you want to take care not to put too much energy into sort of unrealistic expectations, which can happen sometimes in the beginning of a connection when the heat is on, the passion is there. You really feel like you can do anything and everything all at once, right? But there's always work involved, and there's always a realism that has to be put in place. So yeah, the options are there, the possibilities are there, but the work will need to be put in. With that Magician energy, though, there is a feeling right now, I think for both of you, that when the two of you are together, you work at your peak. I wouldn't be surprised if the two of you even work together. You may work in the same field. That warrior and wolf is such a good pairing. You both may work in a humanitarian sort of area, or some kind of community, perhaps working area, or something where you help others, right? Absolutely, that is coming through. But it also feels like the Six of Wands is there, and it showed up here as well. That victory that is coming in, it feels very much like the two of you share that. When the two of you are together, it's like everything works out. You know, things happen. You both are you both operate at your peak, right? And so that energy is very much there. This almost feels like a whirlwind romance relationship. In this case, it's not as though they're hiding anything. I think more than anything, there is an overwhelming feeling here of like, wow, is this actually true? Can this really be true? Do they feel the same way that I feel, right? Um, does the warrior feel all of this electricity and this passion and desire, this love? I want to be physically intimate with you, this energy, which I think you are feeling as well. And the answer, of course, is absolutely yes. So this is a reaffirmation of that, right? Now I do say that Queen of Wands is there with a Six of Wands. So that Six of Wands, that victory again. But that Queen of Wands is interesting. I dare say that this may be another person that the two of you know, that is somehow connected to both of you. I feel good energy from this Queen of Wands. This may be someone that gives you advice or counsel, or that is somehow connected in this, or somehow, I want to say not involved, but has a part to play in the connection between the two of you. And there is a lot of support and energy that I feel coming from this Queen of Wands. It almost feels as though the victory that comes in for the two of you may have had something to do with her as well. Spirit is telling you destiny is at work. A lot of what's happening right now is fated and destined. The two of you were meant to meet each other and come together. If things feel like, over the top, exciting and overwhelming, that's that feeling of kismet that happens when you meet really a soul mate match. And this is what I feel here. This reading is absolutely for someone who met a soulmate connection. Now, in the final, we come out with a Knight of Pentacles and Empress. Again, a perfect match, right? Yeah, the Emperor and the Empress are the actual sort of masculine, feminine equals, right, and counterparts. But here, I love this even more because this is like the nuance. King of Pentacles energy definitely resonating, I believe, with that warrior spirit of your person. They are going to be the one who absolutely makes sure that everything is happening and taken care of. Empress energy is there for that creativity and that nurturing and that strength. And that absolutely tracks with that wolf spirit, right? So that divine feminine energy is there. There is a feeling here, especially with King of Pentacles, bringing hopes and dreams and creativity into the material world along with the Empress. There may even be family or some kind of creation between the two of you coming in the future. The ground is fertile between the two of you to grow and expand. This person that you're asking about feels very strongly for you, and I believe you feel just as strongly for them. We have spirit of the earth. Yeah, there's that groundedness. Spider spirit and spirit of the past. Yeah, grounded, right? Nature, ancestors speaking through you. There is something about the two of you feeling very, very connected spiritually. Spider spirit, fate, destiny coming up again. Yeah. Free will is there too, the choices we make, but you know, it's a woven rug, right? Our choices and destiny, how we play our part. Spirit of the past. Nostalgia aching old flame. Take that as it comes to you. Some of you may indeed be dealing with an old flame that's come back around. So now is the time that I will pull out the zodiac signs just to see what kind of zodiac energy we are dealing with. Pisces, Sagittarius, and Aries. Wow. I did mention Emperor. Emperor is the card for Aries, but we had Two of Wands, which is Mars and Aries energy. So some of you absolutely have these energies in your natal chart, or your person may have these energies in their natal chart. All right, everyone, thank you so much. If you can claim this reading, if this is your message, go ahead and let the collective know in the comments. Hit the like button if you got something out of the readings. I really love that, and I appreciate it when you do that. It allows me to know that you're getting something out of these twin flame pick a card readings. But for right now, I will say thank you, and if you want to stick around for pile number 3, let's get started. Pile 3, let's get into it. Who is this person? The Starborn. How do they see you? Hummingbird energy. Their true desires and feelings, intensity. Wow, they feel intense. And Spirit says it's all about communication. So let's get the rest of your reading out. 8 of Wands, more fire. Magician energy. 6 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups. And a King of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Lover's card. Wow. So a lot of heat. Right away, this is an intense reading. Of course, what are their true feelings? Right away, the intensity card falls out. Our connection is so intense that sometimes it scares me. My feelings for you overwhelm me at times, but please be assured that by me taking things slowly and being patient with me, it's going to help me be more comfortable with all of these changes that are coming. So your person, right away, let's get into it. They are feeling intense about you, and it's a little bit overwhelming. Lovers at the bottom of the deck is letting you know that this is absolutely a deep connection, twin flame connection at the very least, right? If you want to check out twin flame soulmate energy, there is a post on my community page. I'll link that. But yeah, there's a heavy karmic tie here between the two of you. Now let's talk about who they are. Starborn. Starborn energy is somebody who is very in touch with their life path, their blueprint, who they were meant to be. This is usually someone who has a very strong connection to their higher spirit, right? They know who they are deeply on a soul level, on a spiritual level. And this is not something that they learn, right? They're kind of born with this energy. They operate on a different wavelength. This type of person, a lot of the times, will resonate also with a sense of mysticism or mystical type of vibe and energy. They just have such a confidence about who they are. You know, they have such a confidence about the path that they're supposed to walk in this life and the destiny that they have. Now, let's look at who they see you as. They see you as resonating with that hummingbird energy. And hummingbird is that beautiful air energy, also highly spiritual. The hummingbird animal spirit is someone who knows exactly what to bring to rejuvenate yourself. You know, the hummingbird in the wild is an animal that searches out the best nectar. And nectar is something that we ingest, drink, right? To rejuvenate ourselves, to revive ourselves, right? In general, a nectar is something that is good for the body. And so, hummingbird animal spirit is someone who resonates with understanding and knowing almost on an instinctual level all of the ways in which we rejuvenate our soul, keep our spirits up. I think the two of you probably resonate and connect with each other because you are very much on the same wavelength, right? You are resonating with that beautiful, strong hummingbird energy, right? Of being almost a natural healer, natural natural understanding comes to you about what is needed when we talk about keeping the soul buoyant and keeping the soul vibrant and keeping a connection with the soul, especially in times when we need to heal. And so your starborn is connected and attracted to this energy intensity. That's what it's all about, right? I mean, this is what they're saying. They're letting you know that this is a lot for them. It may indeed be that they've never really had feelings this intensely for someone. It's very rare to have two people meet that resonate on this same level. Starborn is an archetype that comes up very rarely in my readings when we're talking about the type of energy that somebody resonates with. So this is all kind of a rare energy to begin with. And so it doesn't surprise me that there is a lot of intensity here, as well as a lot of overwhelming feelings. So right away, you may be at this reading wondering what their true feelings are because you feel this energy between the two of you, and yet they may be finding it quite difficult to explain this. Communication, right away, we say spirit says communication is at play. So when we look at the supporting energy here, Eight of Wands and Magician, Eight of Wands does, you know, indicate a vibe of a lot of communication, or rather a lot of energy, right? A lot of energy going back and forth between the two of you, right? In various ways, in various degrees. Eight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. It's a fiery energy, and it can be overwhelming. Oftentimes, it can mean a lot of news coming in, a lot of information coming in. It can indicate, a lot of back and forth conversation, but if there's a lot of intensity there, you may have to slow things down to get your point across the right way. Magician is also there. So it's a feeling that the both of you, when you're together, are operating on all cylinders, right? There's a feeling here that when the two of you are together, there is almost a magical quality to the way the two of you operate. The energy might be riding quite high between the two of you. The communication may be quite intense, back and forth, right? But you also may be dancing around the deeper issues, right? There's a feeling here of a lot of talking, without actually talking here between the two of you. I mean, vibes, energies, eyes, all of that hinting at what is really going on. Now we take a look at this beautiful energy of the Seven of Cups and Six of Pentacles. Again, there is a generosity here, a sharing between the two of you, and also a feeling of almost dream come true like energy. This is interesting. The same kind of vibe has been threading through all three piles today for today's reading. A real wish come true type of energy. Seven of Cups is there, and it does let you know that you have a lot of options right now, but take care because we want to be realistic. The lesson of Seven of Cups is to go for realistic goals and objectives. This is not to say that you can't get what you want, but there are steps and stages to everything. Especially with that Six of Pentacles there seems to be quite a lot of physical sort of generosity going back and forth. So before we move on to what Spirit has to say in the final energy of King of Wands, let's go ahead and get your clarifying spirits out. Five of Swords, Eight of Swords. Wow. Ten of Wands, the end of a long journey. And there is your happiness right over that Seven of Cups and the love between the two of you. Very interesting. So there's absolutely a lot going on right now. Five of Swords and the Eight of Swords energy. There feels like there's a bit of a battle here, right? And yet there is also a feeling of being sort of restricted, right? Restricted in the ability to communicate the right way. This almost feels like you might be at this reading because the two of you may have recently been butting heads a little bit, right? There's so much intensity and similarity here. The two of you are so much alike, right? And there's such an intensity between the two of you. And yet, strangely enough, there's been a little bit of uh, strife and discord between the two of you as of late, is what I'm feeling. And a lot of this is coming from really just frustration and also an overwhelming amount of activity happening around you, that there seems to have been just a miscommunication going on, and a lot of it is coming through as sheer frustration too. Your person, this starborn individual, is not used to not being in control. They are not used to not being able to communicate their feelings. Again, this really speaks to how intense everything is for them right now between the two of you, that it's actually has manifested itself to a certain degree as a feeling of frustration here, and maybe even a little bit of arguing or discord between the two of you that almost seems as though there's no need for it, right? However, there comes a point here with this Ten of Wands energy and Four of Wands energy, along with that Six of Pentacles, there may have been some issues to do with money or pressure that has come in to do with money. And that kind of gets taken care of. And there are a lot of sort of burdens, I want to say, and outside pressures as well that in the near future kind of work themselves out. And they work themselves out through communication, through sharing with each other, through talking about things the right way. Ten of Wands is one of those energies that's like the straw that broke the camel's back. So it really, something had been going on that had just been building and building and building. And so, again, that would have added to some of the sort of strife, some of the discord, some of the back and forth kind of quarreling, I would say, not full blown arguments, but just bickering. And so, what is needed here is like actual physical help, right? Sustained help. And that comes in with that Six of Pentacles. It may be you, indeed, who comes in and helps out as a result of really stepping up the communication here. And what do we have towards the end? Four of Wands and Two of Cups energy. Everything works its way out. Four of Wands, that's the 1111 soulmate energy card. It's that feeling of celebration, two people coming together that are meant to be together, that have a sense of destiny about them, that everybody wants to celebrate it. Everybody else around can feel and see that this is meant to be. And it just speaks so strongly to the soulmate connection. And this is what comes in. And that Two of Cups energy of like, we made it. So right now, there does feel like there's a bit of a bump in the road in this connection that you have with this person. And a lot of it is to do with outside pressure and also some frustration, because I will say that this feels a little bit like a new connection, right? And the two of you are just kind of getting used to each other. Your person has, notwithstanding all of that, these outside issues that they're dealing with, and as well this intensity that they feel for you and this inability to really kind of communicate it well to you. Yeah, there has been frustration recently, but it's something that the two of you kind of get over and really move ahead strongly. So let's look at the final outcome. Spirit says communication and the King of Wands. Yeah, ultimately in the end, the vision comes true. King of Wands is the one who kind of like works through everything, manifests his vision no matter how, wild the ride is. The King of Wands can hold on, right? He has that ambitious passion, that fire to not give up, that endurance, that drive. And also with the communication, Spirit talking about letting you know that true communication is necessary here. Like really sitting someone down, especially if you have been bickering and arguing and not really understanding why. Sometimes you need to just sit down with the person and say, hang on, freeze everything. Why is this happening? Let's really get to the heart of everything. And that King of Wands coming in right there just seems to like feel like a sense of nice control that comes back in. So I really love that. It's like being right on top, working through this bump, right? And getting back on track and even better than you were before. So let's get your spirits of darkness and light out. Spirit of the crow fell out. Spirit of the elixir and spirit of the shoreline. Spirit of the crow, prophecy, messages, right? Sometimes bad news. Yeah, right now I do feel like there may have been some bad news the two of you have been dealing with, but you get through it. Spirit of elixirs, intoxication, there may be some of that at play. Take that as it applies to you. And spirit of the shoreline. There is tranquility and calm that comes in ultimately when everything works its way out. So now let's go ahead and get into your zodiac signs. See what kind of zodiac signs you may be dealing with in your chart or in your person's chart. Capricorn, Sagittarius, there's that fire, and Virgo, more earth. All right, everyone, thank you so much. This is the end of pile 3. If you can claim this reading, if this is what you've been going through in your situation that you're thinking about, go ahead and leave a comment for the collective in the comment section and let us know about it. If you enjoy my readings, hit the like button. I really appreciate when you do that. That lets me know you're getting something out of the readings. But for right now, I'm just going to say thank you so much for joining me today. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. This has been Their True Feelings and Intentions Pick a Card reading. And I wish you and all of yours love, life, and happiness. Bye-bye, everyone.